Hyper sent me 3 tech products for free for review to check out. I've got a ginormous battery bank, a wall charger, and a USB-C media hub for iPad. All the reviews expressed in this video are my own. I was not told to say anything positive, so this is completely my opinion, and hopefully you enjoy the review. First up, we have the compact 100-watt GaN charger. First of all, we have 3 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A port. The top USB-C port is 100 watts, the second USB-C port is 100 watts, the third USB-C port is only 27 watts, and the last port, the USB-A port, is only 18 whole watts. It does include 4 travel adapters, including the UK, Europe, Australia, US, adapters, and then of course it also has a charging station with the C8 adapter. It does up to 4 devices at once, but you're really going to get the most out of it really only using one at a time, because again, it is that max of 100 watts. In order to achieve this, you use power delivery 3.0, and that is how you're able to get those speeds. So if you've been around my channel, you know that I like to kind of make things up as I go along here, and that's what we're gonna do with this. So I'm gonna take you to the place I'm normally sitting at, maybe turn an extra light on. My girlfriend, often, if she's over and I'm streaming, which well, I shouldn't say often, happens sometimes, my girlfriend will be over while I'm streaming. She'll sit on the floor right here next to my desk, and she likes using her phone, using an iPad, and she needs to charge it. We're using this little rinky-dink Apple charger. I think this is what, 20 watts. With the full force of this behind her, she can charge her phone marginally faster. If the iPhone even supports that, I think iPhones can do 30 watts now, but I know iPads can do 30 watts. So this thing can charge pretty fast. Obviously it does up to 100 watts at a time with the top 2 USB-C ports. Not exactly great for an iPad. Is great, however, for a USB-C charging laptop. So like newer MacBooks that support it. At most manufacturers of current laptops that aren't the cheapest are gonna be able to support USB-C. So down here I kind of have this super secret power strip. I'll just go ahead and plug this little guy in. This is kind of what I'd be doing for Anita. Grab my USB-C to Lightning, and I'll show you it charging my phone. Believe it or not, it can do that. I got a Deadpool, and it's charging. If you can believe it, the charger, the brick, charges things. You plug a cable into it. I've not had any issues. I've actually been using it quite a bit to, like I said, for Anita here. For me, if she's sleeping and using the charger in the room, I bring my phone in here and I'll charge it in here. We really only have the one. I don't know why. I'm also gonna be bringing it on vacation, I think. I did just buy a competitor, an Anchor little charger, a 45 watt, pretty small, to bring on vacation, but that's not going to charge 2 devices particularly fast. And I'm figuring that this might actually be my better bet for being able to charge multiple devices at once. Now it is obviously a lot larger, but then I only have to bring one instead of bringing multiple bricks and then possibly forgetting them or something. So in terms of a travel charger, I actually think this is great. Let's see how much it actually costs though. Oh, this little dude is $90. The charger I just got from Anchor, I think was 25. And it's 45 watts. I think this could be worth it if you're traveling a lot, or if you need a new charger for specifically a laptop. This is actually probably great for that. Plus you can plug your other devices into it. For me, not necessarily something I'm going to use all the time. I don't travel very often. I'm working a lot. But if you're traveling or you've got a laptop, I could easily recommend this. It's built super sturdily as well. I don't have any notion that this is going to explode on me. Up next, and probably most importantly, we have the 245 watt USB-C battery pack, or 27,000 milliamp hours. What can we say about this? First, it has 2 USB-C ports that are in and out. Those are both 100 watts. And we have 2 explicitly out ports that are 65 watts. Can charge up to 4 devices simultaneously, up to 245 watt max output, which is a lot. More than the wall charger. It just plugs directly into the wall. It does also do pass-through charging as well, so that's going to be having it plugged in and receiving something from the wall, and also then dishing that out to your other devices. It has an OLED screen on the front, which I'll do a close up here, but it does say hyper. It comes up with the battery percentage, the total amount of watt hours left, and then the output or input for each of the 4 USB-C ports. It also uses Power Delivery 3.0 and whatever QC 4.0 is, maybe Quick Charge, but those all work together to give you your power. Okay, so taking a look at the 245 watt power brick, we're gonna go to my next scenario that I am in most of the time to kind of explain how I've been using this device. And you might be like, why are you lit from underneath? I've got a lamp. One of the other things that I do sometimes is I like to sit in my bed and use my iPad. I'm gonna be sitting right about here. You know I've got that light right there. I don't have an iPad charger in here. I don't have USB-C in here because Anita and I are both still on Lightning iPhones. So typically, I would have to bring an iPad charger in. However, since I've gotten this battery bank, but I've been using that to charge instead. Suck in, Andrew. Okay, so typically my setup would look something like this. I did this the other night. Something like that. I've got my USB-C cable that was included, plug those in, and voila. Now I'm charging. You see my iPad is quite low. For a scenario like this, this bank is actually great. I kind of really love it. Plus it charges really fast. So I did try this once before with my iPad and the battery bank, and I killed the battery, just absolutely annihilated the battery bank. And it was right when I got it. I had 75% charge and I killed it by charging my iPad once. Now, since then, I have charged my iPad with it multiple times and it hasn't done that. It must have been just a weird freak accident that happened the first day. Nevertheless, it can only charge an iPad about 1 3/4 times, 1 4/5 times, something like that. So you can't charge it a full 2 times. You might be able to if you're lucky. Taking a look at that OLED screen there, it first comes up with hyper, and then you can see the battery percentage of the battery bank. You can see how many watt hours that is. Then you can see each of the 4 ports and what they're either sending or receiving. Again, your 2 ports on the left are your in and out, and the 2 ports on the right are your out exclusively. And it shows you right there exactly how much each port can do, which is very nice. That 245 watt USB-C battery bank we've been talking about, by the way, $200. I don't know if I can possibly recommend it for $200, but that is the cost. I would say get something a little cheaper and a little smaller unless you're really trying to charge your laptops on the go. Last, and in my opinion, probably least, but I haven't even really used it yet, which is why I don't think it's that great. The iPad USB-C Media Hub. Let's actually open it right now. Wow, that's it. So, it has an HDMI 4K 60 Hz port, 3.5mm headphone jack. It has USB-A at 5 gigabits per second, SD/micro SD at 104 megabytes per second, and it has a USB-C port at 5 gigabits per second and power delivery of 60 watts. And then obviously it has a USB-C that goes into your iPad, and then it has some big play, pause, and next and last buttons. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and then it has a little adapter in the box to give you a dangly bit if you've got a big case on your iPad, like I do. So the hyper, I guess they're calling it a hyperdrive, USB-C hub is something I actually haven't used, so we're gonna test it for the first time right here. So here's the thing about my iPad, right? I use a Logitech keyboard case, so I'm thinking this probably isn't gonna, it's not. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off and see if this will work. That seemed to work. We've got a blue light here on the side, right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and try playing some music right now. I don't have any copyright-free music, so I am going to end up cutting this out. But let's just pick something. Oh, who's gonna be chill about it? No, let's do Feels Like Christmas by Panic at the Disco, right? Yeah. Let's see if these buttons work. Okay, so we've got audio coming out. All right, and let's hit play pause. That worked. Let's go Harry Styles, and we'll go with As It Was, everyone's favorite song. Play pause. Next track. Worked. Back. Seems to be working just well. Fairly responsive. Little gummy on the buttons. Nice. I'm gonna go grab some headphones and we'll give that a shot. You know what's cool about the wireless mic? You can hear me when I walk away to go grab my headphones. All right, let's plug these headphones in. And I'm gonna go ahead and press play. Now, as someone who uses IEMs, these are a little hard to drive for a lot of different headphone ports, and I want to make sure that these will work without making any clicking sounds. So I'm going to give it a little listen here. But I can say right now, just listening to a little bit of Harry Styles, there's no clicking, there's no just general noise. I have had issues on other devices with that, with IEMs, because they're a little harder to drive, but these are working great out of that headphone jack. So we'll plug in the battery bank here, and we'll go ahead and give this a plug in right in there and make sure it's gonna start charging. Yep, we've got the charging here, and we've also got it going on right there, and we are pulling 16, 15, 16, 13 watts, 14 watts. One thing I can't really test right now is the micro SD card and SD card, because I don't have any spare of those just laying around with stuff on them. They're in devices like this on my other camera. If the rest of this is working great, I'm going to assume those are working great. One more thing, I'm gonna grab an HDMI cable and we're gonna try the iPad on the television here. Okay, turning this TV on. It is a 4K LG TV. Let's go ahead and give this a shot here with the iPad hub. Whoa, I've never done this with an iPad before. That's crazy. How do I get to the other screen? Whoa, I've never done this before in my life. What the hell? Whoa! That's the hypersleep thing. Let's see how much this baby costs, shall we? I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's a little probably blown out. Okay, so looking at the website right here, it is $100, and let's kind of talk about that value proposition, because that's an interesting one. My thoughts on $100 for that are complicated, mostly because I've had many other USB-C media hubs before. I've had 2 or 3 that I've actually done reviews for them on this channel, and they're generally pretty good. However, over time, because they're like 20, 25 bucks, I would start to have issues with them to the point where I didn't use them anymore, and it would kind of just suck. For $100, if you need a USB-C media hub where you need the play and pause buttons, I would say that's worth it. They have some cheaper ones on there that don't have the play and pause buttons, but seem to have all the other features, you know, the aux port, the USB-C, the micro SD, the USB-C pass-through, and the HDMI. I think I would consider the cheaper ones for sure. The media version, if you need that play and pause button, I think it might be a nice upgrade, though it's not necessary to go for that full $100 spring. Anyway, I think that's been the video. Quick recap, the 100-watt charger, I can definitely recommend if you're a big traveler or really need to charge your laptops and you need that port on the go. I recommend it. As for the 245-watt battery bank, it's a little harder for me to recommend on that price tag. Maybe if you're a vlogger or a content creator and you've got your laptop and a camera and a phone on the go and you need to still be moving while charging, maybe I'd recommend that, but personally I would go with something a little smaller and a little cheaper. And then of course the USB-C hub, which is a little expensive, but it is the nicest USB-C hub I've ever used. I'd recommend maybe getting a slightly less feature-filled model for a little cheaper from Hyper. But if you want to spring for that, if you need those big media buttons, I would say go for it. If I'm talking directly to Hyper, I would say definitely add volume controls on the next version of that. Just 2 extra buttons on top, volume up, volume down. I think that would make it a slightly better experience and a little more worth that $100 price tag. Other than that, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Thank you to Hyper for sending these products out to me for a review. They did not tell me I had to be positive about this. This was completely my own opinion, as I said up at the top. Other than that, feel free to subscribe to this channel where I do upload occasionally, and my gaming channel where I also upload occasionally. Work and stuff, a little hard to upload here and there. All my social medias are linked down below. Also check me out on twitch.tv/SkullHQ, where I'm live actually a lot more often, at least once a week. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Take care.